We are back in the game room and it's time for a little bit of arcade pickups. And yes, the footy games are still being played because the World Cup is still on and the flag's still up because England is still in the tournament. Hopefully the flag will be up for a little bit longer too. There we have the Triforce there, playing a little bit of Virtual Striker 4 2006. I didn't do an arcade pickups last month, so there's a lot to get through, and most of the stuff I bought, well in fact all of it I bought well before I actually purchased the Mister. So I haven't actually bought any PCBs since I got the Mister, so I have held true to my word. So I won't be getting many PCBs in the future, so I'll probably focus more on collection videos of some of the arcade stuff I've already got. So let's have a look at the stack of stuff on the table there, and let's have a look at the arcade pickups. So what arcade stuff have I been up to? Well, as you can see from the intro, it's World Cup sort of time, so I do like to play my football games. So I stuck in the Sega Triforce, so I could play a little bit of Virtual Striker 4, and it's 2006 revision is the World Cup revision from back in 2006. So it's quite funny, playing with characters like Rooney and things like that, and Beckham, harking back to the golden generation that didn't achieve anything at all. But it's such a cool game. It's one of the better football games out there, especially with the analog joystick as well. It's pretty tough though, don't get very far. And I think the England ranking on that machine as well, on that version, is pretty low as well. So it's really tough unless you play with Brazil. And what else? Well, a bit of monitor updates. So I was getting a bit sick and tired with my Neo Geo 29. It was really struggling with cold solder joints on the actual chassis of the monitor. So yeah, I think probably about 6 months ago, I did a quick job to try and repair it. It worked for a while, but it went back to its bad ways of, it could take up to an hour to actually start up. It would play blind, and eventually once the sort of flow heated up, then it would actually, the picture would show up. So I did a proper job on it, pulled out the chassis, and yeah, I properly went over all the joints, reflowed the solder. Now it's working perfectly. It looks beautiful, the picture now. So really happy with that. But after doing that, I sort of got the bug. I went and thought, I have another go of my Blast City. Why not? I got one win, could I get another win? So I took another look at this, and it's been going on for quite a few years, so about 2 years now. But the mystery has finally been solved. So I had a closer look. The chassis has completely been recapped, and the flyback had been replaced. Everything has been done to it. I've been assured that it's fully working, but I'm still not getting a picture. I was getting a spark in the neck of the actual monitor, but that's what I was getting. I was advised that maybe there's a short in there. So I had another look, and I noticed a spark further up the neck. So I thought, okay, I'm going to pull the whole neck covering part off and actually pop a look at the neck of the tube. And lo and behold, there's a massive crack in it. So I don't know if that happened when the flyback went, that sort of the force of that, so I don't know, maybe made it crack, or whether it was necked in some other fashion when it was moved, because it wasn't working when I moved. So in theory, it could be two issues, not only the chassis flyback gone, but also it could have got necked when it was transported. I don't know, but the mystery is up. The monitor is deceased, it's dead, no more, it's screwed. So I've ordered a beautiful LCD screen to replace it. No, don't worry, I'm not going to do that. No way would I do that. No, I've got some plans. So I'll probably go for a Bang Olufsen screen. So I've actually got a TV that I got from Singapore many years ago. And the poor thing has had a pretty bad life. It wasn't built for the tropical climate of Singapore when I actually bought it. I don't know, it's one of these I think Vision #1, and it had the rotating stand. And I don't know if you know these things, they have like the case of it have like a layer of sort of like rubber, but in the tropical heat that sort of turned to tar. So even when I bought it, I had to wrap it in newspaper when I moved it down from this guy's apartment and stick it in the back of a taxi. That's how bad it was. I had to wrap it in newspaper. You can imagine the taxi uncle was not very impressed with me getting bits of horrible oily tar in his car. So I rubbed it down and all the rest of it, cleared it up best I can, but still the plastic inside is going, so it's eventually going to fully go the outer casing. So I thought, why not use the beautiful TV tube in it, because it's a fantastic picture, put it in the blast, and hopefully it's a little bit smaller, but I'm working ways to actually fit it in there and maybe make a slightly bigger bezel, but hopefully it'll work out. But maybe I'll do a video on that. But that's it for that kind of stuff. I think you're more interested in the pickups. I probably bored you enough with the random crap that I got up to. So pickups. So yeah, let's go with the tank in the room first up. So the actual innards of this I've had for a long time, I think since 2017. Of course it is the dark soft CPS2 multi-kit, but this beautiful case I ordered from, I think it's Jensen Customs. He does these orders now and again. Absolutely fantastic. This thing is built to last. Before I was, it was in the proper CPS2 case, and it's kind of off a little bit because you've got cables and what have you with the, where you've got this controller on the front so you can switch the games. So it was very temperamental. I was worried that the ROM set would actually come off a little bit. But now it's properly encased. It's got a nice fan in there as well to cool it down. It's not as loud as the original one, which is a horrible noise. So it's a little bit better, and it's a beautiful case. But the custom slasher has been out again. He did take a little bit of a cut out of there. This guy, she would just like learn how to use his knife properly, not slashing everything. But fantastic colors. I'm really impressed with this. And also I took the time to actually put the reset on it as well. I'll show some footage as well so you can see the games are on it, but practically it's all the CPS2 library, which if you know your CPS2 stuff, it's all the amazing games from Capcom. You've got Mars Matrix in there, Eco Fighters, you've got all the Street Fighter Zeros, including the one behind me, which is another pickup, which I'll get to in a minute. So I'm well happy with this, and now I can sort of display it. I've got it ready to go at all times. A fantastic bit of kit. Before it was ugly sitting on my table. Now it's yeah, it's a beautiful tank. It really built to last. So I'm really happy with the case. But the shipping, I made the mistake of not going for the free shipping because I was thinking, because if you ship to UAE, what happens is you have to pay the local shipping and you get whacked by tax. So I went through a proxy, and the proxy, because of the weight, he whacked me anyway. So yeah, it's just as expensive almost to actually ship it than actually buy the actual case. But I've got it, I'm happy, that's all that counts. Beautiful bit of Capcom there right on my desk, on my table, should I say. So let's get on for the actual artwork and stuff. So of course I couldn't resist this on the old Yahoo auctions, bit of Street Fighter 03, but I don't know, I'll show a close-up of it, but they must hate Dan for some reason. If you look at each one of these characters, it's got a little line. So like Ken is like something like the dragon fang fires again, or something like that. It's a really cool statement. And when it comes to Dan, it says his dad is strong. So I don't know what's going on there. I know Dan was supposed to be a bit of a piss take of SNK, so maybe there's something going on there, I'm not sure. You'll see pictures of the poster anyway. So the other one, I'll move on to this one here. So I Yahoo auctions again. It was a kit. Made a bit of mistake on this one. I thought it was Dynamite Decker 2 EX, which is on the Sega Naomi, but actually no, it's not. It's the proper second one, which was on the Model 2. So I don't actually have, I have a Model 2, Sega Model 2, but I don't have this particular game. So I'll be looking out for the ROM set for it. This is actually the one that came out on the Dreamcast. Funny enough, yeah, the Naomi version didn't come out on the Dreamcast, which we would have thought. It's like almost like a third separate game, but the second one did come on the Dreamcast, which is this one, which is the Model 2. And then I think they took the Dreamcast version and they sort of revised, made a new game for it, and they stuck it on the Naomi. It's the Dynamite Decker 2 EX game, which you probably see on the top shelf sometimes on the intros. But fantastic bit of kit. The reason why it threw me, because normally all these Naomi games, because they normally go in like a Blast City or a Aero City or whatever, then they have this sort of size. I wasn't thinking it was going to be a Model 2. Unfortunately, some of it's not original. This bit, the stickers, they're really cool. This is original, these two pieces here, but these two are, they've just photocopied some stuff. But it comes with the actual manual as well, which is pretty cool. Always nice to get. And I will be looking out for the ROM set for the Model 2 for that one. So I've already got Model 2 for Zero Gunner, another game, PSiKYO game that didn't get a home port, but the second one obviously did. So what else we got here? Next one, more artwork, which you can see here. I went for a Melty Blood full kit. So this is actually the ring edge version of it. So obviously it was on the Naomi, but there was a revision that came out on the ring wide, should I say. And so I've got that on the multi. So fantastic game. Came full kit with the actual one that would go on the top of like something like my Limburg, and the full poster, which you can see here. I'll do a proper image of it. Obviously the manual, well, it's just a leaflet really, and all the move sets. So I'm really happy with that. And again, it was a bid on Yahoo Auctions, and yeah, I got not too bad a price. I think it was about 15 to 20 pounds for that one. A similar sort of price, but if not a little bit less. No one was really interested in the Dynamite Decker one, but I still think it's pretty cool art. And so that is it for the artwork. Let's move on to some of the actual games. So let's have a look here. We have got an MVS game, so don't get too excited. It's not one of the ones I was really after. I always said that, because obviously I'm going, there's a full MVS set. There's only 2 actual playable games that I'm after that I still need to get. But if the other games, like the quiz games or the Mahjong games, turn up for a reasonable price on Yahoo Auctions, I will go for it. And this one did. So this is a Mahjong game. It is Quest for the Young Master, I think it's called. It came out also on the PC Engine. And it came, I thought it came with the original artwork, but it doesn't. This is all photocopied stuff. But still, nice to have. And this, you know, this was about £30 or something like that. So it wasn't horrendously priced. I was hoping to get it for a little bit less, but if they pop up, I will try and get them. Otherwise, I'm not too arsed about them. So that is it for the Neo Geo, not much. We have got another PCB. So this one was shown as not working. So I took a gamble on it, and yeah, it's a bit of an unusual one. The reason why I got this is because everyone is hyping about it. It's Alligator Hunt. So yes, this was recently released on that well, ever sealed game system. Yeah, that everyone was playing certain arcade games on, and this one popped up. It looked pretty good. So when I saw this in Japan, it's actually a European game. It's I think it's a French company, Jeleco with a G, not with a J. But it's cool. The artwork, again, I thought was original, but it's not. It's photocopied. But sticking it in, it's not playing. Yeah, it's playing blind. The actual picture is garbled. So I'm going to play around with it. I had a quick tinker, but yeah, it seems to possibly be, unfortunately, a custom chip. I've got a feeling it's a custom chip that's going. And I can see that there's a little bit of work done on it, not being particularly too clean. So I'll probably try and clean that up and see if it was possible they just did a bad job. Fingers crossed, but at least there's signs of hope in there, because it is playing blind. You are hearing something happening in the background. You're just seeing a garbled picture. So fingers crossed that this is repairable. If not, I'd probably try and send this one away. I think these ones were dirt cheap as well. I've seen these go up in price because of the For the new system. What was it? I can't even remember his name. Not Everseal. This is Mark Geordie Slasher Gamer that's got me on there. It's always going to be Everseal for me now. The Evercade. Sorry for all those that collect the Evercade. I apologise. It's a fantastic system. But this Mark Geordie Slasher Gamer got to my head. But yeah, because of that, it's gone up in price. But this was only like 20 quid or something like that, maybe less, because it was non-working. Another one that I saw on Yo Auctions, also as non-tested, which normally means it's not working, but it's just the motherboard. This is a Sony ZN-1. Now, I know I've got a number of games that I don't have the motherboard for, as in I've got a couple of motherboards but got multiple ROM sets, so if that makes sense. So the ones over there, they've all got the motherboard attached to the ROM set, so I need additional motherboards. But I've got my ZN1s and ZN2s mixed up. I don't need any more ZN1s. I need ZN2s because I've got these ones here that I need to get motherboards for, which is just to show you how this all works. It's actually the same size, exactly the same size motherboard and same size ROMs. I actually just testing it because it was what's it called? Arena Toshidan works with this one. Arena Toshidan 2, I think it is, that works with this one. But I tried it with this one, which is Plasma Sword, and unfortunately it just comes in with a ROM error. But I do need one as well for this one as well, which is the fantastic, this is Rival Schools, or it's called Legion of Heroes, I think, in Korea. I think this one was from Korea. But yeah, I need motherboards for those two rather than swap. I don't like to swap them out because effectively you just plonk them on there, but I prefer them ready to go. So that is it for the sort of gamble stuff. The rest of the stuff here is definitely not a gamble. I knew what I was getting. So the first one up is a Konami game. So it's actually, again, it was similar to this. It was just selling the ROM, so you see something similar to this, but it's for the GX. And it is, what's it called? It's I can't even know. I don't even know the name of the game. I struggle with this one. But basically, it's a puzzle game, very similar to Candy Crush, and it's a series I'm not really familiar with. It's called Tyson Crusoe Drama or something like puzzle drama, something like that. But basically, it came with a ROM like that, and to play it, I've removed Salamander 2. It's the same system, it's a GX system. So yeah, I think Dylan Hyper Trigger X is probably gonna not be too happy with me that I took Salamander 2 away to play this random puzzle game that's kind of like Candy Crush. But yeah, I love my puzzle games, but nothing compares to Magic Drop 3 on the Neo Geo. I mean, it's a bit boring. It's a very quirky characters. But yeah, it's just too similar to something like Candy Crush, to be honest with you. It's not that much fun. So I believe one of the games came out on the PlayStation 1. I don't think this one did. I think it's about 3 or 4 versions of the game. I don't think this one did, but there is an early one that came out on the PlayStation 1. But it's a game I was not familiar with at all. Bit of a gamble. Came again, tricked me. I thought it was original artwork. In the picture, they do quite a good picture, and you think, oh. And then obviously it's in Japanese, a description, so I couldn't tell. But unfortunately, it's not the original artwork. But that will give you an idea, and you'll see the footage as well. Because they tricked me, because they even did the stickers as well, reproduce the stickers. Scumbags. But that is it for the Konami GX system. Next up, what shall I do? Shall I stick with Konami? Why not? So I'll move this one out of the way. We will stick with Konami, and it's in the box, and it is, of course, it's Twin B. So this one, I think it's all bells and whistles in the West. I think this one is Daytona Twin B. But yes, Konami game. Here is the PCB. Nothing really interesting. It's just a dusty old board with chips on, but I'll show it to you anyway. Fantastic game. I love this series. Same game as on the PC Engine, but to play the original arcade game is just pure joy. Such a privilege to play the games how they were originally designed on my Candy Cab, and it's just pure, it's awesomeness. You'll see from the footage, I will play a game later, but it's not going to be this one. Originally, I was thinking I was going to do this one, but I'm going to do a different one that I'll show you at the end. But fantastic game, I love it, and the kids love it as well. As soon as I put this one in, the kids were around, they wanted to play it. It's just so colourful, the bosses, the enemies that you fight, it's just so cute. Yeah, it definitely draws in the kids to want to play shooters, so that's quite a cool thing. So that is it for the Konami. Next game, we are going to go for a bit of Taito. Yes, we are, and this is a game that I loved back in the day. So it's a game that I first played, I think, on the PC Engine. Not PC Engine, what am I talking about? It was on the Amiga. This game I used to love. I love the music. It's a platformer. It is, of course, New Zealand story. I've been wanting the original game of this since I've been started collecting. I finally got it. Absolutely awesome to have it. To be fair, the home versions of it are perfect. They reproduce the game perfectly, so you're not missing out too much. But again, like with the Twin B one, it's a real privilege and honour to play the original arcade games. It's quite a cute little Taito PCB. Well happy with that. Again, I was thinking about playing that one for the gameplay at the end. I wanted to do 3, but I thought it'd just drag on too long. I've already bored you enough talking about the games here. To see me doing some poor gameplay for another game as well, I thought, nah, I can't do that to you guys. But the last game I will do the play with, and it's my favourite game of all these pickups. So this is actually the game that sort of triggered me getting the Mister. When I paid for this one, I paid much more than I would normally do. I'll tell you, it's a PSiKYO game. So you've probably seen, I have most of the PSiKYO games, but there's one in particular I was missing. Normally I used to pay about $100 maximum. You know, it started off, I used to pay maybe about 50, 60, 70 US dollars. It went up to about 100, 150 max. And now it's just, yeah, it's gone well over 200, 250 now. So that's what sort of drew me to get the Mister. But I still want to get this anyway because I wanted to finish off the set of the PSiKYO games. And it's a shooter, of course. I mean, they did do other games as well. But of course, it is their first game that they actually had after they left Video Systems, after the Aerofighters. It is Sengoku Ace or Summer Aces. Absolutely fantastic to have this one. Amazing shooter. Again, so colourful. You can see where all the inspiration for Gunbird, I mean, everybody knows Gunbird and Gunbird 2. Everyone loves them. But this is the game that sort of kind of kicked it off. Yes, it did steal from Aerofighters. You can see some of the very similar mechanics, you know, the P pickups and what have you. But yeah, this one is absolutely awesome. The graphics, the music, the atmosphere, the playability, absolutely spot on. I'm well happy with this, and I will show you it in the footage. So let's go downstairs and play a little bit of Sengoku Aces. So let's play a little bit of Samurai Aces or Sengoku Aces. Sip of a side beer, perfect for this climate. Perfect to get this going. Sticking a credit. And let's choose our character. A bit of Aerofighters in there, a bit of Star Wars. Yeah, let's go for Kiori. I do like Kiori for multiple reasons, including the fact that she powers it pretty well. These side cards are very, very useful indeed, which you'll see in a second. But also the artwork for it as well. If you ever see the artwork on the PSiKYO Switch shooting collection, then you know what I'm talking about. Wasted there. Typical PSiKYO game. The first 3 levels are randomly selected. I'm going to lose those weapons. I don't want to lose them. Come back. Yeah, the first 3 levels, they mix it up, so you're not quite sure what you're going to get. This is a terrible start. Oh, I lost life already, that's terrible. Talking and playing and drinking beer. Not a good mixture for shooters. But yes, they mix up the levels, which is cool little features of most of the PSiKYO games. It means you learn the game pretty quickly. You get to play some of the other games. Mind you, the first levels, not too difficult, even though I just died on the first one. But I'm blaming the talking rather than my skills here. Absolutely gorgeous game though, absolutely gorgeous. The sound as well, the theme, everything about this game is pure class. And it's hard to believe it's the first PSiKYO game that actually was released after they left video systems. Because of course they did do Sonic Wings stroke Air Wings. They did develop that, but that was with video systems. Same concept, same little pea floating around, tantalizing you. And apparently, if you believe this stuff on the internet, which everybody does, including me, they weren't too impressed with my gameplay. Well, that's for certain. They weren't too impressed with the direction video systems was going, because they were developing a lot of stuff for the Neo Geo, which is not really ideal if you want vertical shooters, because obviously it's a horizontal system. So kind of understandable, but probably it's more likely to do with money or something than that. But it's a nice story anyway. But I can't have anything negative about the Neo Geo. I love this system too much. How dare they? Oh god, that got me. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous game. Very, very happy to get this one. Fantastic series as well. I do have obviously the second one, the PCB for that. I got that one quite a number of years ago. But that's a horizontal shooter rather than a vert. And we got the third one as well on the PSP, which I believe is an exclusive on the PSP. And only on Asian and Japanese. Let's bomb that thing. It's not taking any risks. Oh, come on. This is some terrible gameplay. I apologise. So this is when it actually gets difficult. Yeah, I shouldn't be losing life in the first 3 levels, but I'm blaming the talking and the beer and what have you. I've got my excuses lined up, but at least you're getting to see the game a bit. Seeing all its glory, its fast pace, colourful graphics. You need to wake up at the playing this game. You've got to be in top form. Right, this boss is a little bit tricky in life. Come on. Oh, I went straight into that. That was terrible. Anyway, that is Sengoku Aces. Not the best gameplay in the world, unfortunately, but you got to see a little bit of the levels. Fantastic game. And that's it. So there you have it. Congratulations, you have made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed a little bit of gameplay there. Not the best, but at least you saw some of the levels there. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, that I'm probably going to be less focusing on PCB pickups because of the Mister, and I'll do some more collection type videos. So maybe the Taito F3 or the Naomi is probably a good one to do. Hopefully that interests you. And yeah, the last thing I need to do is to thank you all, and I'll see you later.